से मधुर वाणी बोलते ध्वनियों, ब्रह्म से शिव बाबा पधारे। ओम की इस मधुर ध्वनि से किया परिवर्तन, प्रेम शांति सिखा के बदला सभी का जीवन। आदिदेव प्रजापिता श्री बोलते ध्वनियों, ब्रह्ममुख से मधुर वाणी बोलते ध्वनियों, ब्रह्म से शिव बाबा पधारे। सोहनी सूरत मोहनी मूरत ज्ञान के मोती, भव्य मुख पर चंद्रमासी चमकती ज्योति, दिव्य दर्शन दिव्य वाणी बोलते ध्वनियों, ब्रह्ममुख से मधुर वाणी बोलते ध्वनियों, ब्रह्म से शिव बाबा पधारे। विश्व में थी पाप की जब घटा छाई, तब विभूति आप जैसी धरती पे आई। एक तार में बंध के सारे बोलते ध्वनियों, ब्रह्ममुख से मधुर वाणी बोलते ध्वनियों, ब्रह्म से शिव बाबा पधारे बोलते ध्वनियों, ब्रह्ममुख से मधुर वाणी बोलते ध्वनियों, ब्रह्म से शिव बाबा पधारे।
Hello, Om Shanti to everyone and welcome for this meeting. Thank you, special thank you to Sister Isnel and Brother Louis to organize this meeting and to make it happen. And today we are welcoming Sister Ansuya. And Ansuya is located in Bahrain, and openness is one of main quality and specialty, and also generosity is one of a main quality. And Ansuya, you told me that your main challenge is to make other content, but you have a magic potion. It means that you take it since the age of 12, and your parents were in India, and your parents were in Ghana, and your main realization, you tell us if it's true, is that Shiva is God, point of light, and not Krishna, that Shiva is not God is not a human being. And it's for you very important, and this is because you are very active in service also, because it's not based on blind faith, but really about to know and to recognize God. After completing your master in science, you decided to dedicate your life for Baba service, and you have been serving in the Middle East region for over 2 decades. And presently you are based in Bahrain since 16 years, and you are the Vice President of the Bahrain Meditation Center. You have traveled the East, the West, and has the understanding of different mindset and culture. And this is also a specialty, because your approach with Muslim, you learn to understand them and not to try to change them, not to touch their religion, to make them comfortable, and to respect their vibration and the intention to give them an experience of Baba. So Ansuya, now you are going to read the Murli, and then invite everyone to put their question in the chat, so that at the end of Murli we can share about this question. Ansuya, it's your turn.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Is the volume okay? You're able to hear me, right? Om Shanti.
All good, yes.
Good morning to all of you. So it's a nice feeling to connect with all of you. See, the power of science is such that, so though we are in different places, though we belong to one God, and to feel that connection of togetherness and to be belonged to one family. So science plays a major role. So it's so nice to be connected. I was even in the meditation, I was just trying to go beyond and be with all of you. And it's such a nice feeling of being with the divine family, right? So across the globe, and it is such a wonderful family, and it gives the feeling of so much of unlimitedness, and it is, of course, it's a feeling of wonder, and how Baba created this family. Though we are apart, so we all feel that unlimited togetherness. And of course, the other secret is we are eternally together, you see. So we get that feeling that we belong to each other, we belong to one Baba, because eternally we are all together. So we are all connected. So this feeling of being connected is very, very important. Actually, of late, I've been reflecting in our Brahman life. So we just, and especially after the COVID times, so everyone has become so distant or feel isolated. But it is very important that we are connected with each other some way or the other. And this brings a lot of spiritual support to each other. So this is my feeling, and especially the family and Brahman family. And Brahman family is like, each and every Brahman is really a masterpiece, very unique, a masterpiece. And God himself has chosen these masterpieces. So, and each one, no matter what, like yesterday, actually on Fridays, we read the Murli of the Sunday. So Baba was saying that each and every Brahman is filled with so many specialities. So we are all unique, and when we have that attitude and that vision towards each other, there can be a magic. There can be a miracle in this world. So most of the times what happens is we look at our present time, whether it is our own weaknesses or others' weaknesses, and that is where our vision and attitude becomes that of disheartenment. But actually, Baba doesn't see our present form. Baba sees our future form, how elevated we were and how elevated we will be. So in the same way, the way Baba looks at us, if we start looking at our own selves and others, so there will be always the feeling of floating. So we will never come into this gravity of body consciousness, right? So Baba says that even today's Murli, Baba's been talking about the difference between soul consciousness and body consciousness, and how body consciousness is the first enemy. The vices come later, whereas body consciousness is the one which has been there half the cycle, and because of that, there has been so much of ignorance inside. And because of that, even when we try to remember Baba now, after knowing Baba, but the sanskara, the habit of becoming body conscious or coming into the consciousness of the body has so firm effect on us that it really influences our meditation. So it makes us feel difficult to be connected with Baba.
Excuse me, Ansuya, can you speak slower because of translators?
Okay, I'm faster. Okay.
Thank you.
So body consciousness and soul consciousness. Baba's talking today about what is body consciousness and soul consciousness, the difference, and what happens when we become body conscious. So all the vices, they emerge within us only when we are body conscious. And Baba says that because of body consciousness, we have been in so much of ignorance, half the cycle. And now, in confluence age, to be connected, we find it difficult. The reason is the firm habit of body consciousness. And Baba said today that one needs to do a lot of effort to break this consciousness, to stay in remembrance. So this is very, very important. And the other aspect which Baba, I was reflecting, if you see, from copper age, we become body conscious. In golden and silver ages, yes, we are soul conscious. But the firm habit, whatever we have created, so that actually becomes the major element of obstacle in our effort. Whatever action we do, the action is in the consciousness of the body. Whereas Baba keeps on telling us that you have to be soul conscious. The reason I have to be soul conscious is so I detach from action. If you see, in body consciousness, my action means it's like I'm action conscious and also I'm conscious about my body. But in soul consciousness, there is complete detachment from the body. There is no awareness of the body. So the more I become aware of this particular stage, what happens is all the sins within the soul gets absolved. So this is what Baba said today. So the more soul conscious you are, all your sins will be absolved. Because in soul consciousness, our world is just Baba. And there is a natural pull, there is a natural connection with the divine. So when I'm so connected, so that is where I detach with all the impurities which have been accumulated. It's not just absolving, but like, the moment I detach from all that which I have done, like let's say from copper age, whatever mistakes we have done, whatever impurity we have accumulated, in soul consciousness, I become detached. And in that detachment, there is no power, there is no energy which is going towards those impurities. There is a complete deep disconnection. If you see, if you really have to kill something, if you don't give, like for example, a tree or a plant, which is a weed, you don't give it water, it dies, right? So in the same way, whatever negativity which we have accumulated, if I don't touch it, if I don't give any energy to it, it will die its own death. And Baba says, the secret to it is soul consciousness. Because when you're soul conscious, you're not giving energy, you're not giving attention to any of the weaknesses, any of the negative sanskaras or the vices. They're completely ignored. You're not paying attention, you're not giving any attention to them. So when I'm not giving any attention to these negative traits, then naturally what happens is they lose power. Today they have power over us. The reason is I become body conscious. So the more in a day, in each day, as I become body conscious, these vices, they start getting power. And that is where the vices start to emerge. But in soul consciousness, I'm cutting the power connection to these negative traits. So this is the secret effort which I need to be keeping in my awareness. So each time when you become aware of your body or any physical aspect, so just keep it very clear in your mind that I'm giving power, right, to some or the other vice. The vices are taking that energy from my body consciousness. At the moment I become soul consciousness, the power line is cut and they don't get any power. So when I pay this attention, then I can differentiate, I can see the difference. So I will notice a difference that how there is no negative trait which is emerging within me. And when I'm so conscious, naturally what happens is my goodness, which is my true nature, my true qualities, they start to gain the power. Today, though sometimes we think that, oh, I don't want to be upset, or I don't want to get angry, or I don't want to have any kind of disturbance in our life. But yet, something or the other happens and we lose our peace. The reason is this particular practice or this particular realization is lacking, that if I am in soul conscious state, I give attention to my core values. If I am body conscious, I give attention to the negative traits. So it's the opposite. So the more time I spend in whatever consciousness, I'm growing that within my world. So if I give attention to my virtues, that is where they become my nature. Today, they become very distant, right? Sometimes I want to be very peaceful, but yet you can't remain in that peace. The reason is there is some interference which is coming, which is more powerful than my true nature of peace. So if I make my true nature more powerful, then what happens is any vice or any negative trait, it will lose its power. So that is where I become stronger, I become mature, and I ascend in my spiritual life. So today, the 4th December, the Murli of the 4th December. So Baba is saying, sweet children, body consciousness makes you very unhappy. Baba is saying, sweet children, body consciousness makes you very unhappy. Therefore, become soul conscious. By becoming soul conscious, your burden of sins will end. By becoming soul conscious, your burden of sins will end. Sweet children, body consciousness makes you very unhappy. Therefore, become soul conscious. By becoming soul conscious, your burden of sins will end. Today's question: on what basis do you receive a position of wealth in the golden age? On what basis do you receive a position of wealth in golden age? So this is the question. On what basis? If someone wants to become a wealthy subject in golden age, so what is the basis? The answer is, you become wealthy on the basis of imbibing knowledge. Baba says, you become wealthy on the basis of imbibing knowledge. However much wealth of knowledge someone imbibes and then donates, he accordingly receives a wealthy status and becomes ever wealthy. Study this study and also teach others. So this is to become a wealthy subject. But in order to become a world emperor, do a lot of royal service. In order to become a world emperor, do a lot of royal service. Remove all defects. Become fully soul conscious. Remember the Father with great patience, depth, and sincerity. So Baba is talking about removing all defects. Become fully soul conscious. Remember the Father with great patience, depth, and sincerity. Actually, the word in Hindi was used as gambhirta, which is being mature. So a lot of maturity. So a lot of maturity is like having a lot of depth and sincerity. So have patience, O mind. Your days of happiness are about to come. Om Shanti. Who said this? So I was asking, who said this? The Father said, have patience to the children. He didn't say this to the whole world. Baba's saying, have patience. Baba's talking to his children. Baba's saying, I'm not saying this to the whole world. Although everyone are children, not all of them are sitting here. Only you children know that this land of sorrow truly is changing. We are studying for the land of happiness. That is, we are following Srimad. You children are given patience. In fact, the whole world is receiving patience in an incognito way. You understand that you are listening directly. Not everyone listens in this way. He's the unlimited Father, the unlimited remover of sorrow and bestower of happiness. He removes your sorrow and shows you the path of happiness. When you have happiness, Baba is saying in Golden Age, when you have happiness, there can be no name or trace of sorrow. The world of happiness is happiness in Golden Age. So Baba is saying the world of happiness is happiness in Golden Age. And that is 16 celestial degrees full. Means the happiness is also in the full form. Just as the moon becomes 16 celestial degrees full, it then becomes completely dark. When you're 16 celestial degrees full, there is full happiness. In the Iron Age, they are devoid of 16 degrees, and so there is sorrow. So in Golden Age, there are 16 celestial complete, so there is full happiness. But in Iron Age, so Baba is saying, so they are devoid of these 16 celestial degrees full. So that's why there is sorrow. The whole world is eclipsed by the eclipse of Maya. This is why the Father says, first of all, renounce the body consciousness that you have in you. So Baba is saying, renounce the body consciousness that you have in you. That body consciousness causes you a lot of sorrow. Remain soul conscious, and you will also be able to remember the Father. By remaining body conscious, you are unable to remember the Father. The body consciousness lasts for half the cycle. By becoming soul conscious, in this last birth, firstly, your burden of sins will end. So in this last birth, Baba is saying, by being soul conscious, the burden of sins will end. And you will then also become 16 celestial degrees Sato-Pradhan. Many don't understand this aspect of body consciousness. So Baba is saying, many don't understand this aspect of body consciousness. It is only body consciousness that makes human beings unhappy. All the other vices follow. The first is body consciousness, which makes us unhappy. And then Baba says the other vices follow. When you become soul conscious, all the vices will be renounced. The moment that we become body conscious, all the vices follow us in Copper Age also until the end of Iron Age. But now Baba is saying you become soul conscious and all the vices will be renounced. It is difficult to renounce them otherwise. Without being soul conscious, we cannot renounce the vices. The practice of body consciousness has become so firm that no one considers himself to be soul conscious. It's so difficult to become soul conscious because of the habit of body consciousness. All the vices have to be donated in this. Baba says all the vices have to be donated in this. First of all, renounce body consciousness, lust, anger, etc. come afterwards. Baba is saying first renounce body consciousness, lust, anger, they come afterwards. That one is your father. Because of body consciousness, you've been considering your physical fathers alone to be your fathers. So Baba again is pointing out the true eternal Father is one. Shiv Baba is our parent, but because of body consciousness, so we started to consider physical father to be our father. So considering your physical fathers alone to be your fathers. Now, the main thing is how to become pure. So the main thing is Baba saying how to become pure. In the impure world, all are impure. No one can be pure. In this impure world, everyone is impure. No one can be pure. Only the one Father purifies you. Only the one Father purifies you. And takes you back home in great happiness. You children are now concerned about having yoga. You have to die alive. Baba is saying, now you're concerned about yoga. Now you have to die alive. To break body consciousness means to die. Baba is giving new definition. To die alive means to break the body consciousness. To break body consciousness means to die. These souls remember Baba and become pure from impure. Baba alone taught you the way to become pure. He's now explaining it to you once again. He will explain it to you again every cycle. So Baba is teaching us how to become pure, and he's the only one who can show us the path, and he does that every cycle. No one in the world can explain it. The main thing is to remember Shiva. That too, when you hear this through the BKs, because you are to receive grandfather's inheritance. So this father through whom you receive it is definitely required. So what Baba is trying to say is, so the inheritance which Shiv Baba is giving us now is through Brahma. Sometimes some souls consider, oh, we want to just have a direct connection with Shiv Baba, but Baba is saying that you get the inheritance through Brahma. So Brahma is in between. So this father through whom you receive is definitely required. You definitely have to receive directions through this corporeal one. Many children think that they will have yoga with Shiv Baba and forget Brahma. But how would you hear Shiv Baba? Then Baba is saying that, okay, if you want to have yoga with Shiv Baba, but if Shiv Baba wants to say something to you, how do you hear? That's what Baba is saying. How do you hear Shiv Baba? They say, we don't have any connection with Brahma Baba. All right. Then Baba is saying, all right, consider yourself to be souls and remember Shiv Baba. Go home and sit there. But how would you receive this knowledge of world cycle? Okay, if you're considering, okay, I want to remember Shiv Baba. So Baba is saying, okay, you go home, sit and remember Shiv Baba. But what about the knowledge? So if you have to hear the knowledge, it is only Baba has spoke through Brahma. So go home and sit there. But how would you receive this knowledge of the world cycle? How would you be able to remember Baba without understanding this? Right? We remember Baba because we have a purpose. But Baba is saying that without knowledge, how will you remember? So knowledge is the basis. So without knowledge, I don't remember. So with knowledge, I get a purpose to remember Baba. Why am I remembering? I know the secret why I have to remember Baba. So Baba is saying that, then without that purpose, how will you remember? How would you be able to remember Baba without understanding this? Knowledge has to be received through this one alone. Knowledge has to be received through this one, means Brahma Baba. You won't receive knowledge again. You receive new points through the Father every day. How would you be able to understand anything without Brahma and the Brahma Kumaris? All of this has to be learned. The Father says, it is possible that those who sit at home and make effort to attain their karmatic stage will go into liberation. Means Baba's talking about, the effort. If someone says that, no, I want to sit at home, I want to remember Baba, and I want to attain karmatic stage, being at home without knowledge, then Baba's saying that though they make the effort, they will go into liberation. They cannot go into liberation in life. If you imbibe the wealth of knowledge and donate it, you become wealthy. The whole idea is Baba's talking about knowledge. So knowledge is wealth, and you have to become wealthy, and you have to make others wealthy, and that is how you receive the inheritance of liberation in life. How else would you become ever wealthy? You definitely do have to take the support of Murli. You have to study it. Many will come, will just receive their aim and go into liberation. As they come to know that we have to remember God, and they will go into liberation. Explain to all human beings, simply remember the Father, and you will become pure and Satupradhan. Then, when you take the wealth of knowledge, you will become wealthy in the golden age. Then Baba is saying that one aspect is, if you remember Baba, you become pure and you will go back home to the soul world. But to go into golden age, I need to remember Baba and also imbibe the wealth of knowledge. So then I become wealthy in the golden age. Otherwise, you will go into liberation and then come down at the path of devotion and perform devotion. You won't be able to benefit anyone because human beings definitely need knowledge in order to become deities. So Baba is saying that human beings, the way for human beings to become deities is only through knowledge. So human beings will need knowledge to become deities. After listening to this knowledge, you also have to relate it to others. You have to share it with others. Look how much you beat your heads in the exhibition. In spite of that, it doesn't sit in anyone's intellect. A soul is such a tiny point. Every soul has received his or her own part. You know this at this time. All human beings are actors. This play is predestined. So Baba is saying everyone is an actor, and this drama, this play is predestined. There also has to be the destruction of the old world. It is remembered that Rama went and Ravan went. It's like a story. They say that the family of Rama also went, they left, and the family of Ravan also left. Means the whole world has to change. No matter who goes, you children cannot experience sorrow. Again, Baba's connecting that no matter what happens, no matter even if someone leaves the body, Baba's saying that you should not have sorrow. You know that this drama is predestined. Everyone is to be destroyed. Kings, queens, sages, holy men will all die. So who would collect their ashes? They do all of that just to glorify someone's name. Again, Baba's talking about, in Bharat, they do rituals. If someone dies, if someone leaves the body, so in their memorial, so they do certain rituals. So Baba's saying that there will not be anyone to do the rituals or collect the ash, etc. But usually whatever they do, the rituals, etc., remembering those souls who left the body. So Baba says it doesn't make any sense. It's of no use. So Baba is saying it's just to glorify someone's name. Neither is there any benefit in that, nor do those departed souls receive any happiness. So by doing that, the departed souls, they don't receive any happiness, and neither there is any benefit in it. On the path of devotion, whatever people do, it is without understanding. Baba was saying that whatever in the path of devotion happens, it is without understanding. The Father is now making you so sensible. Constantly look at these pictures and think about what Baba is making you into by teaching you. So Baba is pointing out that to see the pictures means the picture of the Lakshmi Narayan, the deities. And Baba is saying that how sensible you're becoming with the knowledge, whatever Baba is teaching us, on the basis of that teaching, we become so elevated that we become deities. So Baba is saying that look at the pictures and bring this awareness that what am I going to become? I'm going to become so elevated. However, if it is not in someone's fortune, he doesn't put it into practice. Again, Baba was saying if it's not in someone's fortune, they will not put in practice. Baba explains a great deal, but it needs to be put into practice. Baba was saying that all the explanations which Baba is giving, Baba is saying there is use, there is benefit, only when I put into practice. I need to put whatever Baba is teaching into practice. After becoming the Father's children, can you not do service? So Baba is saying now you belong to Baba, Father's children. So can you not do service? The Father is the benefactor. Some children continue to cause a loss for many others. And Baba is connecting another point. Baba says that I'm the benefactor and we are his children. We also should benefit others and we should not be causing any loss to anyone. So Baba is saying, so some children continue to cause a loss for many others. They disregard the feelings of those who have a few pure feelings for this university. Like people, like Baba's talking in a context, like someone might be having a lot of pure feelings for the center, for the yagya, or for the university, means for the whole institution, for the whole thing. But yet, if someone talks something negative, so that particular pure feelings, the bhavna which they have, that is completely, shaken. So Baba is saying that don't spoil the bhavna or the pure feelings which others have towards the yagya or towards Baba. So Baba is saying some children continue to cause a loss for many others. They disregard the feelings of those who have a few pure feelings for this university. Such ones perform such sinful actions. There is the interference of evil spirits. This is why it is remembered, those who defame the Sadguru cannot reach their destination. They not reach their destination in the sense they cannot attain a higher status. Both Baap and Dada are included in this. No one can do anything to the incorporeal one. Again, Baba is saying, no one can do anything to Shiv Baba. What would they say to him? Baba is saying, what would they say to him? On the path of devotion, they said God causes sorrow. Right? This is sometimes, if anyone tells you, oh, you're causing me sorrow, so how do you feel? If you did not cause sorrow to someone and someone just blames you that you have caused sorrow. And in that way, in the path of devotion, everyone blamed God. Everyone said God is the one who gives sorrow. So Baba is saying that you did that in the path of devotion. You said, in the path of devotion, they say God gives sorrow. It is due to ignorance that they believe that. Again, Baba is saying because of ignorance, they believe that. You children now know how much you rejected the Father under the influence of ignorance. So this is like rejection, right? So saying that someone has given me sorrow, it's like rejection. So Baba is saying you've rejected me in the path of devotion under the influence of ignorance. There is no one who can make those who are Tamopradhan become Satopradhan. No one in this world can make Tamopradhan to Satopradhan except Shiv Baba. Instead, they give wrong directions, saying that God is omnipresent. They do not know the truth, and yet they give wrong information that God is omnipresent. People are so confused. This is why they ask, how can God enter the body of Brahman? So because of so much of confusion which has been created in the path of devotion, so when we relate the topic or when they come to know that Shiv Baba comes in Brahma Baba, so they ask, how can God enter Brahma? So then Baba is saying, then whose body would he enter? Would he enter the body of Krishna? How there be Brahma Kumars and Kumaris? So if Shiv Baba comes in Krishna, then where are Brahma Kumars and Brahma Kumaris? Because the whole aspect of new creation starts with Brahma. So Baba says, if I enter Krishna, then there can't be Brahma Kumars and Brahma Kumaris. It will be deities. They would become deity Kumars and Kumaris. It would definitely be the Brahma Kumars and Kumaris who become Brahmins. The main aspect what Baba is talking is, so the creation starts with Brahmins, the first generation of the cycle. So Baba is saying the new creation is through Brahma. So Brahmins are needed for the establishment. Baba cannot do anything without Brahmins. That is why this one's picture definitely has to be placed here. That's why Brahma Baba's picture has to be placed here. Since Baba's talking about the picture of Trimurti. So in Trimurti, Baba said, because he's the one, and through him, Baba's doing the task of establishment. So Brahma's image should be there. The Brahma is also a Brahmin. Prajapita Brahma is needed in Bharat. Day by day, while sitting at home, many will continue to receive visions of Brahma. There will continue to be growth. Those who have it in their parts will come running here. So Baba says in their part, according to the part in drama, so Baba says they will come running here. Many people believe that God definitely exists in some form. No one apart from Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, can grant visions. Shiv Baba carries out establishment through Brahman. He gives knowledge and also creates Brahman religion. The religion of Brahmins is definitely needed. That is the highest of all. So I was saying the religion of Brahmins is definitely needed. That is highest of all. Prajapita Brahma is very high. He is said to be next to God. Again, Baba is praising Brahma Baba. In that position, he's saying he is next to God. There isn't anyone else in the subtle region. There would just be establishment through Brahma, and that's all. Brahma then becomes a deity. So Baba is saying only Brahma is next to God, and that's why he means he stays in the subtle region. And after that, Brahma becomes a deity after establishment. There would be just establishment through Brahma, and that's all. Then Brahma becomes a deity. Then after 84 births, he becomes Brahma once again. Brahma and Saraswati then become Lakshmi and Narayan. The prince and princess of knowledge then become the prince and the princess. How Brahma becomes Vishnu and how Vishnu becomes Brahma is a very first class point. You can explain it very well. So I was saying you can explain the whole cycle with this point. This knowledge is received from the one Father. Explain very well at the exhibitions. Why do you become confused about Brahma? There are so many Brahmins. Only when someone first becomes a Brahmin can he then become a deity. Again, Baba is saying that until and unless the route or the path or the destination to become a deity is only by becoming a Brahmin. Until and unless someone doesn't become a Brahmin, cannot be a deity. This is the process. A master, Brahmin can be then a deity, a master of the land of Vishnu. The day of Brahma and the night of Brahma are very well known. It is now the night. Sit in front of such pictures and practice explaining. Those who want to do service will have no thoughts of anything but doing service. Their focus is Baba and Baba's task. They will run to do service. The knowledge should be bubbling in your intellect. So Baba is saying that when the knowledge bubbles in the intellects, then what happens is you want to just, share whatever you have, you want to share it. Only when your apparents are very full will you have that enthusiasm. Again, how to have that enthusiasm when you're full. So when you're full, so then Baba says that enthusiasm to share knowledge comes in. You will run to do service. It is impossible for you to have knowledge and to be unable to explain it. So that means understanding knowledge is something, or being full with knowledge is something. Right? So Baba is saying that if you're really full with knowledge, you can't stay without sharing with it. So you can't stay without sharing. You will definitely share knowledge if you're full in knowledge. So sometimes we think that we have knowledge, but it doesn't mean that we have knowledge if we are not full with the knowledge. That's what Baba is saying. So if you are having knowledge, that means to share it. It is impossible for you to have knowledge and to be unable to explain it. Why then do you take knowledge? So Baba is saying, why then you take knowledge? If you take knowledge, you also have to donate it. So we've received the knowledge from Baba, says you have to donate it. If you don't donate it and you cannot make others the same as yourself, what sort of Brahmins are you? So Baba is saying that if you can't receive the knowledge and share that knowledge with others, so Baba says, what sort of Brahmins are you? Third grade. So Baba is saying that if you can't relate the knowledge to others, then that is being like a third grade Brahmin. This is the business of first grade Brahmins. So I need to be able to share the knowledge with others. So Baba is saying, donate the knowledge. So this is the job of first grade Brahmins. Baba explains to you children every day. Some children continue to do service, whereas others also do this service. Some do service and some do disservice. If you're unable to do service, you would definitely be doing disservice. Wherever good children go, they definitely do service. When the knowledge is given fully, the special children do not make any mistakes. Only then would they become beads of rosary. So Baba is saying that, so when you have complete understanding of knowledge and when you become mature in knowledge, then what happens is you will not do any form of mistake. Even special child also will not do a mistake only when you're completely mature in Gyan. Mature in Gyan means complete in Gyan. Like, for example, a fruit is there. The form of fruit is first, it is very raw. When it is raw, it is not usable, right? It is not edible. So, but as it ripens, as it becomes mature, it is edible. So Baba is saying that, so you become complete. You will not do any mistakes when you mature in Gyan. So you're complete, since you're in that stage. Only then would they become beads of rosary. So when that stage comes, then they are picked, the bead is picked into the rosary. The 8 beads are the main ones. The examination is very important. Baba says this is a very, very big examination and it's an important examination. It is always very few who pass an important examination because the government then has to employ them, right? Usually top posts or very important posts, very few vacancies or very few pass them because later the government would have to employ them. So here Baba is saying, Baba has to make you into masters of world, and this is why only a few pass, right? Baba is also giving us a position. So then Baba is saying that to attain that position, only few pass because destination is very high and only few souls pass and they attain that particular highest position. There will be hundreds of thousands of subjects. This is why Baba asks you, will you become an emperor or a wealthy subject? So then Baba asks you, what do you want to become? Are you ready to become an emperor or a subject, a wealthy subject? Or will you become poor? Speak, Baba's asking. What will you become? Emperors have many maids and servants who are then given as part of dowry. Right? Even in Golden Age, one of the Adis, so when we hear the stories of the trance messengers sharing the stories, actually when a marriage happens in Golden Age, after the marriage, it's like the bride's parents give a lot of gifts and they give the gifts of companions. Of course, in Golden Age, they don't use the word servants or something like that. That kind of a word doesn't exist, but it's like, they are like friends with the princess. So the bride's friends, all the friends and companions go with the bride and to be with the bride means the princess. So that's how. So Baba is saying that, in royal family, when they get married, so there are a lot of servants who are given in dowry as gift. Make effort to claim a good status. What Baba is saying is you have to make effort to claim a good status. Become so clever that everyone invites you. They generally do call someone. You know this, do you not? Those who do not have those qualifications are never invited by anyone. However, they themselves wouldn't know that they are third class. Some are serviceable. They continue to run everywhere to do service. They don't even think about their work, but run to do service. Some don't do service. Even though they don't have a job, they don't have the interest. Again, Baba's pointing that if I'm not able to do service, it is not that you cannot do, it's the lack of interest. Either it isn't in their fortune or they have an eclipse of bad omens. There is a lot of service to be done, and it does require some effort. Some even become tired. While explaining to others, their throats become dry. In fact, even the throats of those who are third class dry. This doesn't mean that they did very good service. Again, Baba is saying that it's not that your throat has dried up. Giving knowledge doesn't mean that you are first grade server. So Baba is saying even someone who's a third grade and who's not a very good Brahmin also, throat can dry up. But Baba's definition is what he's saying is this doesn't mean that they did very good service. Baba knows who does very good royal service. However, many have defects. And Baba is saying that many have defects. They continue to get trapped in someone's name and form. They are then reformed by being given guidance. So again, someone is trapped in someone's name and form. Again, with a lot of guidance, they come out of the trap. Never get trapped in anyone's name and form. Become soul conscious. Again, here, you get trapped in anyone's name and form only when you see their name, when you see their form. Right? So Baba was saying, when you become soul conscious, there is no trap. There is no margin for you to get trapped in name and form. A soul is a tiny point. The Father too is a point. It takes a lot of effort to consider yourself to be a point and remember that. Baba says, it takes a lot of effort to consider yourself to be a tiny point and to remember Baba. Superficially, they say, Shiv Baba, I remember you a great deal. However, there has to be accurate remembrance in your intellect. Again, Baba is saying that it is not a superficial remembrance. We need to have accurate remembrance of Baba in the intellect. You have to remember him with great patience, depth, and sincerity. So, which is maturity. Baba's, in the Hindi, the word used is gambhirta, which is maturity. So Baba says with a lot of patience and maturity. Hardly anyone remembers Baba in this way. It requires a lot of effort. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost, and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says, Namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say Namaste and good morning to the spiritual father. So I will take up a little bit of sharing about remembering Baba with a lot of patience and maturity. After the movie, I will share for 5 minutes. But the Dharma, today's Dharma, essence for Dharma. The first point, fill your apron with the jewels of knowledge and donate them. Fill your apron with the jewels of knowledge and donate them. Remain busy in this business and become first-class Brahmin. So Baba says, when you donate, when you give knowledge, so that is how you become first-class Brahmin. Second point, you are the children of the benefactor Father. You are the children of benefactor Father, and you must therefore benefit everyone. You are the children of benefactor Father, so you have to benefit everyone. Don't perform wrong task by rejecting anyone's pure feelings. Don't perform a wrong task by rejecting anyone's pure feelings or by giving wrong directions. Don't perform any wrong task by rejecting someone's pure feelings or by giving wrong directions. Blessing. May you be an immortal image and gain victory over all adverse situations, but this means of making spiritual progress. So Baba says, may you be an immortal image and gain victory over all adverse situations, what this means of making spiritual progress. Just as you adopt many means for the livelihood of your body. Baba is giving an example. So just as you adopt many means for the livelihood of your body, in the same way, also adopt this means for making spiritual practice, spiritual progress. In the same way, also adopt this means for making spiritual progress. So this means different ways Baba's talking about. Practice being constantly stable as an immortal image. So this is one of the means. Practice being constantly stable as an immortal image. Those who move along considering themselves to be images of immortality, those who move along considering themselves to be images of immortality are saved from untimely death, and all problems. Untimely death and akal. Akal is feminine in Hindi, the word akal means feminine. So they are saved from untimely death, famine, and all problems. In order to remove mental worries and stressful situations, simply continue to erase any awareness of your old body. In order to remove mental worries and stressful situations, simply continue to erase any awareness of your old body. So Baba is saying even to remove any mental worries or any form of stressful situations, so erase the awareness of the old body. So that will really free you from different worries or any kind of mental tension. Slogan. When you repeatedly feel something, you fail in the final paper. When you repeatedly feel something, you fail the final paper. So repeatedly feeling something. Feel means it doesn't mean that it's not talking about just general feelings. It's like coming into feeling, being hurt, where something happens and it really upsets your stage. When you're hurt by it, when you're upset about something, so it is creating a feeling of discomfort. So Baba is saying that if you keep on feeling because of something or the other, then that will make you fail in the final paper. In the final paper, we cannot succeed if we keep failing like this. So this is today's Murli. So just coming back to Baba's point today, Baba was talking about
Ansuya? Yes, we propose to you to have 2 minutes of meditation, yoga, power, and then there are some questions. But if you want also to share inspiration, your inspiration, it's welcome.
Yeah, sure. So we will have yoga, yeah.
Om Shanti. Do you prefer that I ask you some question or because it's 11 past 8, so we have still about 10-15 minutes.
Yeah,
left.
sure.
The first question is many years ago in Gyan, an athletic sister was told that doing physical exercise for the body was body consciousness. Could you, in a nutshell, comment this, please?
Sorry, I did not understand the question. Can you repeat it, please?
Yeah, many years ago in Gyan, an athletic sister was told that doing physical exercises for the body was body consciousness. Please comment.
No, it is not body consciousness. It depends your intention, like, physical athletes or means whatever kind of exercise, it depends in what consciousness, what is your intention. Like, people do a lot of stuff to maintain themselves or build their bodies or like, so exercise the body and completely they are in tune, they are fixed to their bodies, right? They're conscious about their eating, they're conscious about like, their calories, and constantly their mind is towards their body, they are obsessed. So then that is body consciousness. So anything like, for the wellness of the physical body, if you're doing something, and it can be, of course, done in soul consciousness, right? And if my intention is to benefit the physical body and keep it fit, and where you are experiencing a lot of health and benefit out of it, that is spiritual health, that brings spiritual health also. I don't see it as body consciousness. It all depends what is your intention and motive behind it.
Thank you. Second question, right now, the whole world is despising the Yavanas, Muslim. Intolerance, blind faith, violence, oppression of women. What did you or do you still enjoy is this branch of the tree?
See, at the end of the day, when we serve the tree, the attitude and like, I come from India, you see, and I come from core, from where Baba has come in Bharat, and I come from Bharat. But when you serve any tree, whether it is Muslims, whether it's Christian, so Baba says that everyone are his children. So, and we are the ancestor souls. All these religions, they are like, branches of the trunk, and we belong to the trunk, and it becomes our responsibility to sustain. And whatever they are now, it is their form now, right? So, but originally they are not like that. So in whatever way we have to serve the tree, and when you have that particular attitude that these are the souls, and these souls also need to get Baba's Sakash, Baba's energy, so that they also take liberation as their inheritance and move on. So this is the attitude. Of course, I do enjoy.
Thank you. Other question, could you please expand the second point of the dharna? Don't perform a wrong task by rejecting anyone's pure feelings. How do you judge whether the other's feeling is pure or not?
Actually, I would like to bring the context here, because when the translation happens into English, from Hindi to English, it changes. Actually, in Hindi, exactly what Baba said was, some children speak such kind of a stuff that people who have pure feelings towards the yagya, their feelings are cut, means they change their feelings. Like, for example, I will give you, like, someone who's new in gyan, or who are very beginning or immature in gyan, or who's a contact soul, or it could be anyone. Like, you are sharing something which is not right for that particular soul. So that particular soul is a seeker, trying to come close to the yagya or Baba's knowledge, but by someone not knowing what that particular soul is seeking and coming. So if this particular person speaks something negative or waste to that particular soul, so what happens to the feelings of that person? So the bhavna that particular soul had, the pure feelings for the center or for the yagya or for Baba, so it changes. So it creates a kind of doubt. So that's why Baba is saying that to be careful. So you should not be obstructing people's pure feelings towards Baba or the yagya. So this is the context actually. And then Baba added another aspect: don't give wrong directions. Like sometimes people give, oh, you can do this way, you can do that way. And then people who are not mature enough or very new, so they just follow someone's directions. And then what happens is they would not do the right thing, and they would incur a loss. So that's where Baba is saying that you're children of benefactor, so do not create any sort of loss to others. So you have to benefit them. So this is what Baba explain. This is the context. So that's why it's very, very important that I was giving example, like, sometimes the perspective, how your perspective is, how you take things, how you see things. Everyone will not see the same. Everyone will not do the same. So I need to see the context. I need to see the soul, from which background the soul is coming, what is the soul's capacity, and that is where I talk what I have to talk. So this is very important. Like, for example, the word God, like Baba says many times, like, you turn it around, there can be something, any issue. So it's a perspective, how you see it. The word God, if it is changed, made, reverse, what does it look like? So it's a perspective, how you see things, how you perceive things. So it's very important that I do not talk or see anything which is negative or waste, and do not share it. So this is very important. You might be sharing with someone thinking, oh, this is my friend, it's fine, I can share with this one, whatever. So, but whatever you're sharing, it must be changing something within that soul. So that's what Baba means. So I should not change the feelings of others.
And Suya, just could you speak slower because of translator when you explain it? I don't know if they are able to follow. So this is a question in the same spirit. Could you explain in more depth the mindset that would reject pure feelings and give wrong directions? Reference to jealousy and devilish motives. Is it clear?
I think I answered that.
Yeah, I think you answered already. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Baba
like,
said,
example, I will add something because you're adding jealousy. Like, for example, person A is jealous with person C. So because person A has jealousy with person C, and person A is friends with person B, so person A speaks something negative to person B. So B also is a friends with C, but because A has influenced B because of A's jealousy, B's feelings will change towards C. So this is how, what happens is our feelings change when you hear. Like sometimes you hear certain news, certain things about others. Oh, this one is doing this behind my back. You had such a nice feeling about that person, but you hear that someone is doing this behind your back. So what happens to you? So how do you see that person? So your feelings change, right? So it's very important how, what we talk. That's why Baba says that you don't see, don't think, don't talk, and don't hear. And even if we see something, if we hear something, make it positive with knowledge, with the power of knowledge. Even something is negative, which you're seeing. So when you change it into positive, then what happens is our perspective and our approach changes.
Baba says the entire world receives patience in an incognito way. What does it mean for you?
Sorry, again?
Yeah, the entire world receives patience.
Yeah. Like patience means, like Baba always gives example, like what it means is, it is again contextual. So Baba is saying that, the song, even the song says that just, be patient, you'll be all right. Like, for example, a doctor, a patient who's hospitalized or who's sick. So the doctor gives patience to the patient, right? So he says, you will be better soon, just wait, you have to be patient for another few days and you'll be all right, right? So in the same way, Baba is saying that your days in this world of sorrow will finish and you will go to the world of liberation in life soon. So Baba is giving us patience, and also Baba is saying that this is patience for the world as well, because indirectly, so when we make the effort to go to liberation in life, what happens? Rest of the souls, they will go into liberation. So it's like giving, we are giving the vibrations even to them, like there is a hope even for them that these days of sorrow are going to finish for us. So when we are in that state, so we will naturally vibrate those vibrations of patience, so which will reach others, and they will also, so they will not take their situations and their problems as permanent. So it is a subtle thing. It is a very subtle thing. So they will get over it. So they will get over it and they will feel that, oh, it's okay, it's all right. So this is the attitude which they will have.
And Baba says sometimes that him alone gives visions, and sometimes he says that he doesn't give visions. So how do you understand that?
Of course, visions, it is Baba who gives the visions. Baba always said that, I have the key of the divine Divya Drishti. So the key of giving visions, Baba says that I give you everything, but I keep that key with me, because that is the thing which Baba uses even in the corporate for devotees to give visions. So visions, it is Baba who gives. So if it's a true vision, so yes, it is Baba. Sometimes it is people's imaginations also. That is not Baba. If it's a vision, so then definitely it is Baba.
Could you, because you told me that you have yoga with Shiv Baba incorporeal, but could you explain us how do you include Brahma Baba in your meditation?
You see, again, Brahma Baba remembered. How did Brahma Baba remember? Remembrance is the same. Brahma Baba did not remember himself, right? Brahma Baba remembered Shiv Baba. So Bab Saman means the way Brahma Baba remembered Shiv Baba, I need to remember Shiv Baba. So for me, that is the thing. So here, I'm following Brahma, how he remembered Shiv Baba. I'm not sidetracking Brahma Baba, you see. So Brahma Baba is our role model. He is the father. He's the Alokik father. He's our parent, right? Who's sustaining. And he's in front of us. And I need to follow Brahma Baba. I need to follow Brahma Baba's footsteps where whatever Baba did in his life, that is a Srimad for us, right? So in that way, when it comes to actions, it is practically following Brahma Baba. That is where Brahma Baba comes into picture. But when it comes to remembrance, the way Brahma Baba remembered Shiv Baba, Baba says, children, become bodiless, become soul conscious, and remember me. So in that awareness, yes, I remember Shiv Baba. In that awareness, whether you're in subtle region, of course, we go to subtle region because we are connected with Brahma Baba and we experience the sustenance of Brahma Baba. Because we do not have, everyone does not have that potential to directly go and experience a powerful stage in the soul world, right? So in the subtle region, Brahma Baba sustains us. He gives us, he boosts us. And Brahma Baba's Sakash is very, very important for us to elevate. And in that elevated stage, then what happens is we can easily remember Shiv Baba. So Brahma Baba's role is a very prominent role for us. So Baba's blessings, Baba many times says that, I come to you in the morning, I go around the centers. What does that mean? He's motivating us, right? So, and without Brahma, Shiv Baba cannot come. So Brahma Baba and Shiv Baba are combined. So to experience that state of feeling that Baba is with me, of course, it is together, Brahma Baba and Shiv Baba. But when you become bodiless and when you're completely in soul conscious, our connection, naturally, it is with Shiv Baba. So this is the difference.
Thank you. So we have 2 minutes left. So I don't know if we still have time for one more question. And there is a question about body consciousness. And could we understand that people in the world are under influence of entropy, and this is because of that we are going to destruction. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So can you repeat again? Means destruction is because of
there is body consciousness, and could we understand that because of that people are under influence of entropy, and this is because of that we are going to destruction.
See, it is, again, Baba says that the soul and the matter are connected. So as the soul descends, as the soul loses its charm, so the world also, the 5 elements, they start to lose their charm, right? The 5 elements also, they lose their charm, means they start becoming impure. So there is a very deep connection, okay? According to science, it is entropy. But according to Baba's knowledge, Baba says that Prakriti and Purush, like the soul, the way the souls have come down, and especially the deity souls, the first generation souls. So the souls, the way they change their form, so that influences the nature and the elements and the world. And then that's why Baba says that now when you change, everything changes. And yes, changes means how does that change? Because whatever we are seeing, it is completely cannot be fixed. It needs to be destroyed. So that is where the law of entropy comes. So it needs to be destroyed. And yes, a new thing will come after the destruction.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot also to everyone to be present. And I don't know if there are announcements for next week, but we are going to meditate, to have a few minutes of meditation now. Okay? Thank you for your inspiration.
सबकी आंखों का तारा। यही है, यही है, यही है, यही है।
रूप में ज्योति बिंदु, गुणों में तो सिंधु। रूप में ज्योति बिंदु, गुणों में तो सिंधु। बंधन मुक्त बनाए बनमा सखा स्वामी और बंधु।
सबका परम